Alright, so I am going to look at a game that I had earlier today. Obviously, as you can see, S9 got to level 952 in 9 minutes 16, which is on pace for master grade. And I choked at the end, but I just wanted to look at some of my choices and see what I could do better. I'm not sure how loud this is going to be. Alright, seems like an okay volume. Look at that. Okay, so I'm thinking in this situation I would want to put the U over here and the J over here first, or you could put the J here and then the U here and then the next piece over here. So let me just show that really quick. It's a nice twist with the N. So what is that? That's 4 tall, and then 3. Alright, that should be good. And then it's JU and N. So yeah, you can put the J here, obviously, and if you put this there, you can twist this over here, and it leaves a decently stable stack. I think what I did is, whoops. Like I did this, and that leaves that well on the right side, which is not ideal. This mode is all about keeping things stable, and like that was a bit jagged compared to doing it this way as well. Like there's more of a flat area on the left side to work with, and there's jagged in the middle, and then you have the well on the right. So you have options. I just like that better. Oh my god, did I forget to show the playfield? It's been a while since I did this, but nobody's watching, right? Doesn't matter. I'll just show it again anyway. So yeah, I did this and this and then this, and then I would instead recommend this and then doing that twist with the N, which is sometimes hard to notice when that's available, but it's usually really good. Oh, I did something even worse than that. Yeah. It worked out though, because like if I was watching the previews and I saw that, oh, you know, it can work out that way. Alright, so that's good. It's a good skim to do. Keeps the stack nice and flat. Ooh, now this V. Yeah, I think that's the right choice. The V is a really tricky piece. wonder if there's something better to do here. So like this is somewhat fine of a situation. You can see by the preview, like we're not gonna get a J or something to put in that well yet. But I'm gonna load this up. Let's just all right. Alright, sorry about that. So, show off the nice editing features of the multi-editor. You can also, what is it? It's shift, right? To select. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a pretty ugly situation, honestly. We've got an L, an S, a T, and a W. L4, S4, T4, W. Alright, now this is a bit tricky. You could set up like this, and then you can put the W here and you have two wells, which is not the best. If you wanted to be safe, and you don't really have to care about losing time just scoring singles. You know, you could do something like that, just clear the single on the right with the L, and then you have a couple options of how to do that. You can put the W in a couple different spots, which is really nice because sometimes there's no good spot for the W, and that is usually pretty devastating. I mean, sometimes you can place it where it only creates one hole, but it can make your stack ugly as well. So yeah, I don't really like doing this and like kind of just building up the stack even more, or however I did it. Building up that well. It's not that bad, but you know, like obviously there's more pieces that can fill this hole than can fill the 3 deep one, and thankfully you do have significant drought protection on the eye pieces, both the Tetromino and the Pentomino, so it's not the worst, but just wanted to comment on that. Yeah, putting the L upright like that and then this here, I don't know. It's a bit questionable, but you can get away with it in low G for sure. Oh yeah, nice misdrop into cleaning it up immediately. Ooh, yeah. Good spot for the V. So like in this situation, I kind of got lucky, but let's see. What did I do? I put the big Z over here. The big Z and S are tricky ones. Let me take a look at this. So So there's a big Z and then a big T. God, I forgot to uncover the playfield. I need people here to point this stuff out to me. Yeah, okay, so I did this. And putting the T upright like this as well, that is usually like, it's your first thought when you're new to pentominos and you see this piece. You're like, oh, I can just put it flat like this and it doesn't create any holes. And yes, it doesn't create holes, but a lot of times it can create two wells, like here and here. It's like, it can be a good move depending on the stack and depending on your previews. Like if you see a piece, like obviously there's the J coming, so this is not the worst, but it is kind of risky. Usually you want to do some kind of sideways placement. And then I got the J to fill that. Alright, so let's take a look at this. We got Z, T, I4, and P. Alright, so yeah, this is a tricky Z piece. Honestly, I'm just gonna see if I can figure something out. So like, this is an option right here. It's not a very great option, but you know, it's there if you want to try and put it all the way over on the right. You can also do this. Now this is kind of a cool move because you see the P is coming up, so you could go like this and then put that under there, and that's pretty nice. It's not the best stack, but it's probably a little bit of a choice if you can like see all the previews like that. And in low G you kind of can. It becomes hard in 20G to use all the previews, but in low G you have a lot of time, obviously. So I wonder if there's anything even better than that. This is kind of cool. Which is something like, that is a very specific situation right there. I wonder if you can, yeah, you can do some kind of funky, damn it. You can do some kind of funky rotations, because the T pentomino really likes to floor kick. But yeah, you would, in low G, why do I keep doing that? Okay. Entered this piece sequence like a million times. Yeah, in low G you can go like, you can also go like this. And if you think in 20G, if you auto synchro it, it probably also works. I can just test that out actually. Oh, I thought that would reach. Well, I think you can do it anyway. I don't want to mess up the stack, but yeah, Z is one of the hardest ones to figure out what to do with. Like, obviously this and this make holes. That makes one hole. This isn't really the worst. If you want, you can kind of, like, you could get like a J or something and, you know, skim over on the right to clear up that hole. And it's not bad. That's like something you could definitely rely on in 20Gs, is making like simple holes that aren't super close to the center. Like, it's, you know, 2 tiles away from the center, which is good. In low G, it's not really that necessary, but yeah. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so this, I'm feeling like it's probably better to put this over 1 so that this part hits this notch. This is small detail. It just, this shape right here is not great. Like, we're not going to get a piece to fill that nicely until the G over here. And like, you can put this here and then the eyepiece over here to fill up the wells, but then you just have like a slightly less stable stack, and it's not amazing. Oh yeah, we're already at 24.2 rank, which is pretty high. I didn't actually pay attention to what my rank got to, but the cleaner you stack, the more difficult pieces it throws at you. Obviously, just a misdrop. There's a lot of dumb misdrops in this run. Okay, interesting choice with the T. That is a thing you can do. Okay. Yeah, so if I was not having a brain fart and I put the J like here, then it would clear this line and it would leave an eye well, but that's not that bad. Given the sequence, it might have been annoying and a little bit of a problem, but usually you can expect to see at least some kind of eyepiece within, you know, 10 pieces or so of the last one, I would say. And then like when the rank is lower, it's even more likely that you'll see another one. So yeah, like I think that's a fine play to do. Obvious misdrops. This is, oh man, this cleanup is really bad. All right, where do I start with this? This part was fine. You know, this good V placement. I guess I'll start with the W. Alright, so let me just draw that stack. Wow, that's not a very nice looking stack, is it? Alright. Just delete that. And then there's a random hole down here. We got W and is that J? 04N. I could like put in the next pieces after that, but I'm just gonna like based on the fact that when you're playing this, you can't see more than these, I'm just not gonna add more that I can't be aware of at the time that I'm making this W placement. Alright. So yeah, this is not a great time for the W. Like, you can make this overhang with it, and then fill it with that. And if you put the O in the right place, which I did not, then you can fill it like that. That's not terrible. I mean, like the holes down here, they are covered a little bit in this situation, but you kind of have to do that in pentominoes. It's usually very hard to get a really nice cleanup where you uncover the hole just kind of immediately, just because of how many pieces there are, and you can't let go of keeping a stable stack in order to clean up faster, because then that'll lead you to just making a more unstable stack, which bites me in the ass a lot when I play. It's like you could do that overhang. You could put it here. That's really not great, but it's there. You could do something like that, which also not amazing. But it does leave, it makes a taller well here, but it is only covered by one. So, like, you know, if you clear that line, then you can get like a, you know, any eyepiece would kind of clean it up nicely, which, as I said, are very frequent. And then, yeah, like, I did this. It's not the worst. I mean, yeah, if you get two eyepieces pretty close to each other, you can clean it up right there. But I just wanted to, like, specifically to talk about the W, because you can make cool overhangs with it. Like, especially if you're looking at the previews and you see that big J, or even just a J tetromino, which would actually be better in this situation. You know, you can put it like that, and that's pretty good. Alright. Let's move on. Oh yeah, I didn't do any of that. Right. I keep thinking, oh, I did the somewhat reasonable thing, but no, I just misdropped. Doesn't really matter. Now that is, I remember this was pretty nice. Alright, yeah, I definitely agree with that W placement. That was a really good scheme with the W, which can be kind of hard to notice, but like when you place it like that in this spot, you know, it makes this hole, but it also almost completes this line here, and then you can just fill it in and it uncovers the hole that it created just immediately. So that's pretty clever to do. It's like a really good stabilizing placement. And that's a nice Y twist. It's the YB. Ooh. Yeah, I don't love that. Look at how jagged that is right there before the W came down. That's really not good. Like, if you get a big J here, for example, what are you going to do with it? Theoretically, you could, you know, of course, set up for a T-spin right here with the big J. And there is a T coming, but, you know, there's a few other pieces that I'm thinking of, like a V would be terrible here. You just don't want to have like in Pentominoes, it is 12 wide, so you actually have more space to work with than in Tetris, which means that you can have more variation in the kinds of features of a stack at once. Like you can have like a flat section over here, kind of a jagged spot over here for, you know, an X piece to maybe go into, or a W, and then you have 2 wide well over here to skim with. Whereas you can't really do that super well if it's 10 wide. I have tried 10 wide Pentominoes. I don't really like it at all. But yeah, let me look at this. Okay, so it's looking good here. Yeah, this U really threw a wrench into my plans, and then I put the Q right here, which is like a really instinctive move. Alright, so look at this. I'll do it when the U comes, because this is fine. And I think I have an idea of what I would do here. All this stuff is still here, so I can just delete that. Alright, so the stack looks like that. And we got a U. I should really make it not case sensitive, but I don't know. So U, and then a Q, and a W, and a T4. Not the worst sequence. The U and the W don't always play along well, because the U likes to make flat, blocky surfaces, and the W likes to land on, you know, obviously these staircases. So they don't really play along very well. But since you have 12 wide, you can just put them in totally different parts of the stack. So I would just like put the U there, covering that notch. Because I put it here, which then, if you're trying to clear that line to expose the well on the right, you're incentivized to put the Q over here, and now your stack is really jagged and ugly. Like, you can do a couple different things with the W, like that is not the worst. Stabilizes a little bit, because then you can put the T over here, and, you know, you have spots for a lot of different pieces in this situation, but of course you created the hole, which you always want to avoid if you can. So like you can put the U there, and then I would say either here or here is fine. It's probably better to put the Q on the left side, right there, so that you can expose the well sooner, but you know, it's not terrible to put it all over there on the right. And like this is a good stack right here. This is very nice. You can work with pretty much any piece, I would say, except for the X. But even with the X, like you can create an overhang, like only one overhang, where you can put like a T or a J or an L or anything. So it's, you know, this is what you want. There's a lot of different stack features. Like you have this tall tower on the left. You have this nice like L-shaped indentation here, and you have like a little staircase there, and like a notch that you can use on the other side as well. And then obviously the 2 wide well. So it's got kind of everything. This is the stack that you want, like in low G and 20G. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Let me back that up. So this, the F pieces, this is the, I don't know, what is it, FA or FB? It doesn't really matter, it's FB. FB is shaped a lot like an L, just with this little hump on the back. It's like a little humpback L. I don't know, being silly now, but yeah. And if you can remember by the colors, which I tried to make the different F pieces pretty distinct from each other with colors. If you can remember that this is kind of like an L, then you'll notice that it fits in really well right here. But I did not notice that, and a lot of the times when you see this piece and it's coming up, and then you see this formation here, this like T-shaped hole, it's very easy to just fall back on doing that. But if you can get a nice placement like this, where it fits in perfectly like that, it's usually better because it creates like a flatter stack. You know, if you put it down here, it makes this notch, and you know, it's not quite as good. I guess I'll just show that for people who aren't as familiar. Alright. I could do it like this. Kind of reveal. I'm just gonna delete. Whoops. I'm just gonna delete this. Oh, I did this wrong. Yeah, that looks right. And then FB U Z4 S4. And there we go. It is kind of cool when I do it that way. I don't know. Nobody's watching, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, when you have this F piece and you can make this placement, you definitely want to do it. And then the interesting thing with the U is that it can make a perfect hole like that where you can twist an S or a Z, which is something I don't think people realize at first. I did mostly want to comment with the F, but this is also really good. Placing the U like this on its side, and if you're able to twist a piece in here, it's oftentimes a lot better in 20G, like especially if you have like a tower and then, you know, a deep sort of open area here. Placing a U sort of upright, like in that position, is not the best. It's like making your stack even more jagged. Yeah, it just creates bad situations. It's sometimes correct, but if you can do that setup for the Z or S spin, it's really good. The dreaded X. Alright, now this is a good thing to talk about. Setting up for the X piece. My rank has reached 27.8. That's decently high for this level. You know, I've been playing somewhat cleanly. Well, you know, I was playing okay. So even if you just play okay, the rank will go up pretty high right now as the rank control is set up. Like, every time you score a Tetris or Pentris, it goes up by a lot. Like, I think for a full 2 points for a Pentris, and then if you score a single, it only goes down by 2/10. So yeah, your rank can climb as you go up to level 500. Alright, so right now, where's the moment the X appears? Right there. Alright, so there's probably something I can do here. Usually you can, if you see it coming, you know, even if it's like right here, and it's like 2 pieces away, you can usually set up for it in some way. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I set up for it and I didn't get any holes. You can just have like 1 hole, or you can have kind of an overhang that you might be able to work with. But it's so much better than like what happens here, where I just kind of panic and create like this ugly hole, kind of this ugly shape, and it's just awful. So I guess I'll do it from here after the I Pentomino is placed. Alright. There's a really tall structure in the middle of the stack right there. Alright. And then piece sequence. So we got an S4, N, X, Z4. Oh, did I just mess up? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Did not mean to do that. Alright, that's good. Alright, so what can we do here? Like, you want to put S over here or something. Obviously, you want to make as few holes as possible. That's not good. So you could put it over here, and then, like, I put it over here. Put this N over here. You could put it like that. It's an option. This is like definitely a stack that's ripe for the X to fuck you over. Because of how big this structure in the center is, mostly. Like, you can't build much attached to that structure because it's so tall. So, like, I guess another option is you're just gonna accept that you're gonna make holes, but they're holes on the sides. You know, it's not horrific, but it's certainly not great. It's just that it's definitely better than, you know, like this end placement I don't like. It's very destabilizing, and like you're getting to the point where, actually I should probably adjust the gravity. Let me look at the table real quick. So we're in 300s. So we're at 1G. I do like putting the N like that better. You know, like if you're gonna put the S over here, that blocks the N from going over there, so then this is probably better because it's a stabler stack position, but of course the X says no in this spot. Yeah, there's usually options. This is one of the cases where there kind of wasn't great options, but like, you know, if this was like that and then this was like that, maybe, or like that, then you definitely have more options. Put the S over there, and then you have these nice T-shaped holes for the X. This is obviously the ideal, but even if you have like a big flat area, like let's say you have this, you know, okay, that's a bad example, but basically what I was going to say is like the X, it can make this little one block overhang underneath the left side here, and then you can usually, like, if it's a big enough space, you can just fill it with a T tetromino or something, and that is another best case scenario, because a lot of times that will smooth out the features around the X as well, which can be better than if you put it in the T hole, where sometimes it's like keeps it jagged where you might not want it to be. Alright, let me just make sure I don't mess that up. This isn't the cleanest game ever. I mean, I've seen my rank. Like, you tell mostly by your rank as to how clean you are. How clean you've been playing. I've gotten my rank up to like 40, like 45 before, I think. That requires you to be very clean. And then once you get up to that point and you're in the 400s, where the gravity is higher, it can, like, it makes the game really hard for you. So, like, what's going on here? Okay, that's all fine. Oh, yeah. I just didn't know what to do with the W there. I mean, the V. So, let me think. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, I was just kind of too eager to clear this line here. Let me just paint this into Shermino. Yeah, that looks right. And then O4, V, C4, and then L. So yeah, I would definitely put the O over there, and then you have a lot more options with the V. I was so eager to clear this line, I just wasn't thinking of the next pieces. You could put the V over here. You know, that's not bad. If you want to clear this line, you can do it like that. The well on the left is not, you know, the greatest situation, but it's tolerable. Or you can even rotate the V the other way, like this. And that's probably a lot better, honestly. So yeah, when you gotta know when that V is coming. Like, the V is one of the pieces, along with like the F pieces, the X pieces, and like the W. You just need to see when it's coming. You know, you have 4 previews, so you got a lot of time to notice it, and you have to prepare for it. I think in my game, it wasn't Okay, I forgot to show the playfield again. Rewinding a video, yeah. So I have the multi-editor loaded up, which I can copy the stack from the game and then show off different options that you could take. So in this case, like I really messed up with this V. I put the O over here because I was eager to clear the line, and then you kind of can't really place the V anywhere nice. You can make 2 holes there. It's not awful. Like if you make this mistake, I put the V there, which is of course just a misdrop. But yeah, you definitely want to, like, when you definitely need to notice this and set up for it. Yeah, panic V placement. And panic W placement, obviously could have gone there. That would have been fine. Oh yeah, this is... So that was fine. This is fine. Look at this again. This drop. So I think I would probably put the I vertical here. Oh, this is an awkward stack to draw. By the way, yeah, this is a run where I was on M pace, like easily M pace, and I died right at the end. Those are higher up. It was like this. I got all the requirements, and I was gonna make the Toricon 10 minutes, and I just choked at the end, so I guess you'll see that soon-ish. I-P-U-Z. All 4 previews are Pentominos. Yeah, I'm definitely stronger than an S9, that's for sure. I think I could probably get the M any day now. The requirements are pretty lax. Just need to do it. God damn it. There's a bit of a bug where it erases the piece sequence when you accidentally X out. Alright, so I-P-U-Z. So then you can put the thing there, you can put the P there, and that's a lot better. I was stacking up when I could have, you know, if I put that I piece vertically, you know, it opens up these wells, and then you know, any long piece can fill in the well over here, and you know, it's a fine overhang to have, but the rank is pretty high now. So let's see what other shitty pieces I got here. still being somewhat nice. Bad misdraw. Okay, so let me look at that again. I'm not sure I like this J placement. It's like, it can work, but putting that huge column there when there's such an awkward situation over here is questionable for sure. I'm just gonna look at the different options I might have had. Alright, so all that stuff is the same. We got a J, J4, what else? IN. So I was thinking this maybe would be something decent. 'Cause then you could twist that under there. That works out okay. I just think it leaves you a more easy stack to work with. I mean, it's not great. Like, if you got a W here, this is a stack where a W would be horrific. Like, I can even show that off. Oh, I did it wrong. So what did I do? Yeah, and then you get the W, and it's like, what do I do with this piece of shit? I think like this misplaced G over here just led you to the position where a W is gonna fuck you. You could also put it over here, and then no, not that. You wouldn't put the I there. But like, if you put that over there, you can, ignoring the W because the W isn't actually part of the sequence. Or you can do that. Yeah, that's not terrible. Yeah, I just don't think I like putting the J here. So then I tried to do like I set up for this essentially. I think it just creates sort of more work for yourself, I would say, if you're trying to clean up. It could have also been a randomizer read. I honestly don't. I'm not fully aware of all the things I'm thinking about when I choose these placements. They become kind of automatic. Alright, so there I messed up. I was trying to twist this J in a way that you can't do it. So like I put the J over here and I was expecting to be able to put it in here somehow. Is there any other place you could put this J though? There's the L coming up, but you're probably not going to see that when you're playing this fast. So there's not a whole lot you can do. I'd say what I did is probably fine. You know, it's just a bad situation. It's a good skim with the F, A. I remember being kind of nervous at this part, so I played a little slower than I have to, and I made that bad misdrop, which ended up being fine. And yeah, by the way, the requirements for M are S4 by 500 and a time of 5 minutes 30 or less. So this was on pace for M at this point, which is maybe why I was a little nervous. It's actually the same score requirements as TGM1, so you also, to get M, you need to get 126,000 points by 1,000. Ooh, that was so close. I almost died there. Yeah, you're probably supposed to 180 IRS that. Where is it? There it is. Ah, yeah. So, okay. Oh yeah, I heard that he started playing this. And I heard that he was complaining about it. Which, you know, Zach and I had a bit of a laugh over that, but that is really cool though. I hope he does master it. I hope he like really challenges me to and you know, competes with me. It does suck like having nobody to compete with. But anyway, back to the game. So with this, like with these Y pieces and with like the big L and the big J, other long pieces like that, the N and the G, you have to know the IRS that you need to do, and a lot of times it's 180. So yeah, if you 180 IRS this piece, it's 4 wide flat, and you can slide it across 3 wide gaps, which sometimes you can actually use that to your advantage. And I think the thing that really is a gatekeeper to learning 20G in Pentominoes is actually learning to use the 180 IRS, because I think it is absolutely required to just be able to finish the last 500 levels, or rather, it goes up to level 1200, but you know what I mean. I think if you're not using 180 IRS at all, you probably can't beat this mode, like in whatsoever. Or if you can, you just have to get really lucky. It opens up so many more options. And like, this is such an obvious placement here. There's like a perfect shape for this YB to go into. You have to 180 IRS more than you really need to, and then you'll get used to using it. And you know, every time you need it, it'll be there to save you, which it really does. Sometimes without it, you would just die on the spot because of, you can't, like, you know, some terrible Pentomino will get stuck otherwise, and then it's impossible to recover. But yeah, you can teleport. You can teleport a lot of pieces in this over, you know, those one wide blocks. So this was pretty good. Interesting. Oh, that was just another mistake. So yeah, you aren't supposed to IRS the G there, because it gets stuck kind of in an unexpected way. Let me look at the default rotation state again. I missed it. I I think the default is that the 2 wide part is on the bottom. Yeah. So you obviously you wouldn't want to IRS it here. It's one of these weird rotation tables where I feel like I couldn't really get away with doing anything else, but unfortunately it is janky, and you just have to get used to it. But I think it's something you can get used to. You know, it's not as janky as SRS at least. But I know, like, there are definitely TGM players that would be opposed to this sort of weird stuff. Like Gitaru, who I think had some complaints about certain pieces, rotations, states. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. Look at that. Alright, so I did the good setup here with the U and the Z to get that. And I put the T in the right place, I would say. And then, oh god, that N placement. Can you put that G on the far left and in? Like, were you talking about the previous situation? Where I was saying how you shouldn't IRS it there? If so, the answer is yes. That was where it was supposed to go. Yeah, it was supposed to go all the way on the left. They can be really annoying sometimes, but like other times they're just like perfect. Sometimes they're even more perfect than like a L or J tetromino for filling the 2 wide, or the 2 deep wells. Because like they can set up for like a W or something, because it makes the jagged part on the top when you fill it like that. So I put the T in the right place, and I put this N there, which is, I can see a really great spot for it already. So let me just load this up. Now what would be really nice is if there's a feature in the multi-editor to scrape a playfield state from a video. Yeah, definitely take the single. You got the right idea. I probably didn't see it because I was starting to panic. I was having shitty runs like all day, and then suddenly this one came out of nowhere, so I was a bit nervous. Let's see, does that look right? Looks right to me. And we got N, J, P, and I. So this is a good single. Oh, it's 20G now, right? It's a good single. I like that. And then this is, that's like decent, I would say. Alright. So yeah, this skim is the best thing you can do at the end here. And then you could play it like that. That's alright too. There's definitely options here, which is always good. You could even like do something like this if you wanted to. I don't think that's too bad either. But putting it like this, that's risky, and then I did something like that. So if you were to put it like this, the right play is to skim the J instead. And then it can be okay. You have a, you know, pyramid shaped stack and whatever. So that's not horrible. I would say Probably the first option is better, but this is definitely good as well. You just need to not, like, fuck up the J placement. Like, this is so bad, because it covers that hole with 3 blocks. And you have kind of a janky looking stack. Like, I don't know what this shape is, but it's not good. Alright, let's move on. Making a few wells there. I think making wells, like on its own, making a lot of wells isn't actually the worst in Pentominos because of how the randomizer works, where it just gives you so many eyepieces and J and L tetrominos over the other pieces that you can get away with having wells, and you'll know that you'll be able to fill them pretty soon. The problem is when you have a lot of wells and the rest of your stack is unstable, obviously that's going to kill you. So I think this is fine, what I did here. And like, you know, obviously use the 4 previews to your advantage. Oh yeah, I want to look at this. I definitely want to look at this. I think what I'm thinking is possible, but it might not be. So obviously I messed up here. I guess I could talk about where you're supposed to put that Q first. Yeah, looking at the previews, it doesn't seem great to make this, to put the Q over here and make this 3 tall well, because you don't have any eyepieces coming up or anything. But that's an option. It's not terrible. Like I said, like 3 times already, you're just gonna get an eyepiece soon. Especially when the rank is low like this. Which I don't think I've mentioned too much, but the rank always resets to exactly 10 when you hit 500. And I think, like, otherwise the calculations are the same as for rank control, but it resets to 10, and 10 is very nice. So you will see more eyepieces and more tetrominos. So then, yeah, put that. I think putting the Q up here is probably also decent. That's a decent option, yeah. Alright. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this thing. I think it'll work, and it'll be really cool. So this stuff is all filled in now. Got this awkward P shape over here. These stacks become very hard to draw when they're getting uglier. Somehow cleared that hole. Alright. Think I got it. Yep. All right. T4W I4G. All right, let's give this a try. Not like that. I think you can twist the W in there. Maybe I'm wrong, but honestly, sometimes I do have to like just test things out because I don't know all the situations in this. I added ceiling kicks, which is what made me think maybe you could get it under there. But I guess not. Alright, well, in that case, yeah, I mean, the obvious placement would be best then. Ah, that sucks. I really thought you could ceiling kick the W into that spot. That's all fine. Stack is getting pretty high. In Pentomino 20G, it's scary when your stack is high, even if it's stable, because you never know when something destabilizing will come around, and when it does, usually you need a lot of room to clean things up. So, there are times where you might not think you're dead, but you actually are, unless the randomizer bails you out. And like, sometimes it just does, which can be nice, but you know, it is good to recognize, like, once you get into this situation where your stack is this high, you know, you might not be able to get out of it because of the nature of Pentominos. And I tried to make the randomizer nice enough so that's not too much of a problem, but it still happens. Like, you can still get an X piece while you're all the way up here, and then, you know, that's the end. Okay. Now we got some nice music. I really like this music track. Cut that RE metal. It's pretty good. Yeah, I was desperate to skim that. So that's why I set up for a skim, which is maybe not the best option. Let me look at this. So it's a big J. Alright. Now, sequence. J-U... No, not J4, L4. Alright, where am I putting this J? So I chose to put it here and then skim like this. I think that's fine. I just want to see if there's anything better. There's always that option. But the problem is this U. So I think maybe you could do this. And then you have a really great spot to put the U. So that's probably the best that you can do. Like there's that list of pieces I mentioned earlier where you just have to watch out for them, and if you see them coming, you got to be thinking like, okay, how am I gonna place this so that it sets up for that dangerous piece? The U isn't the most dangerous, but if you set up for it, it can actually be a really nice piece. So you do that 180 IRS, and then you have like a couple options after that, and this is a good stack. The only piece that I can think of right away that would be really bad is the X piece, of course. But even then, it would leave like let's see, it would leave a decent overhang, I guess. Okay, that's not what I did. Alright, yeah, so I was thinking like with that, that's probably the best place you can put the X piece there. You could throw it over on the right. I don't really like that very much, but it's an option. Requires more cleanup. I'm the type of player that likes to make overhangs, and I can get really dangerous with them sometimes, but there's a lot of pieces that can help you solve this overhang. Obviously, like an O can set it up so that you can have a T Tetromino or something fill this, or like a P or a Q would probably be even better, because then you have a smaller well that is generated over here. I think the X piece is terrible, but if you have this little notch to put it against, a lot of times the overhang that it creates is fine and tolerable. The only really bad thing is when you have an X, and then either it creates holes or it creates two overhangs. And with two overhangs with an X piece, that can get dangerous unless you fill it right away. So, but yeah, just always like to comment on how you might be able to handle X pieces, because it's like the hot topic with this game. Because they're like the most it's like the most controversial piece, I guess. So. Yeah, I don't like that. I didn't get punished for it, but oh yeah, and by the way, the I Pentomino cannot floor kick into this well over here with this current stack, which is a thing that people have to. It takes a while for people to learn, but yeah, if you I didn't even try because I knew it would just get stuck right here. It's like a frustrating thing about the rotation table. I just don't think there's a better option for that rotation table. It's just pretty much the way it is. So yeah, that can be awkward, and that's why sometimes the I Tetromino is actually greatly preferred to the Pentomino variant. Alright, pretty good overhang fill. Ooh, the F piece. That's an interesting one. Let me look at this. Yeah. Yeah, this is a situation where I did not set myself up for the FB. I actually was set up for an FA, which I'll show off right now. I won't even build the whole stack because I'm just gonna show off a thing you can do with the F pieces. But I'll just show off both, I guess. So, these can actually twist like that. And it's, you know, for the twist, obviously, you know, it requires that specific stack shape. But also, like, even if, you know, these blocks aren't here, it's really good to just put them in that T-shaped hole. It actually creates a really nice formation. And I feel like it's good to talk about this because it is one of the pieces, like the F pieces, I think along with the W maybe, but the Fs especially are the hardest ones for people to learn how to use. But this is a really nice twist when you can get it, of course. And it looks really cool. So yeah, just wanted to comment on that. It was like I had the setup on the left basically for the FA, which is the lime green vomit colored one. But I got an FB instead. So like if you do it in reverse and you want to fill that, you can do it like that, but it's not good. Creates those ugly holes. So that's why I didn't do it in the game. Like, I have the instinct to want to do it, but like when you have a stack that's like this, and like my other option I think was like, you know, just remove the FA and just look at the FB. So I could do this, but the other thing is you could just put it over there, like setting up as if you're gonna skim at some point. It's hard to say which is better in what situation, but probably the one where you're setting up for a skim later is usually better. Like, it's not a bad stack shape. It's like not good if you draw a I Pentomino, of course, but you know, it's workable. This is like best case scenario in this situation for the FB. You need to learn the different ways that you can compromise with these pieces. You know, there's a lot of pieces like that where they're very situational, and when it's not the right time for them, you need to know the way that you can compromise without giving up stack stability or you know, making too many holes. So yeah. Alright. Nearing the end of the run. This has gone on for longer than I intended, but I think that's okay. So that was really dicey. I kind of got bailed out by the randomizer there. Randomizer was being kind. There's not a whole lot to talk about here. Some decently obvious plays. And then also just misdrops left and right. Oh yeah, I guess I could talk about that. Because I think this is what led to my death, maybe? No, I cleaned up after it, but I still think... that I'd like to comment on this. So we still got those holes, got this, and that. This is cleaned up. Got that hole. And that hole. Alright, looks right to me. It's off by 1. I forget. Can I like copy paste? No, I can't. Sorry about the weight here as I draw the stack. I do think it is good though for analysis to have this tool. Did I mess up again? Man, I'm like really failing here. What am I not understanding? Yeah, that's what I'm not understanding. Alright, I think that's it. Good. Okay. We got a Q, P, L4, and a J. Oh god. What the hell? I keep accidentally resizing the window. Okay, I think it's fine. So yeah, I put the Q up here like this, instead of building up. I think when your stack is this high, you shouldn't risk that. I don't remember, let's see, I think I put the J in the overhang. I just ended up with this, and then cleared down after that with 2 doubles. I mean, that's not bad, but if I had gotten like a W or an X or something instead of this nice J, would have been terrible. So for the Q, I'd like to put it there, the P there, and that L there. It's fine to put the J upright all the way on the right like that because there's no well on the far right side in this stack. It's not a good stack. We're messy stacking here, so I think that's perfectly fine. And then, there's a lot of ways to clear that well on the right side. So I think this is better. It's just, you're making your stack lower sooner. And especially when you're in like the 800s and 900s, that's a smarter play, I would say. Your rank has gotten higher at this point, and also, with the speed, you don't want to have your stack really high because you're stacking up looking for the right piece to start down stacking, and then you get a bad piece and you don't react in time and it locks in a really awful place which that's run over. So I think it's better to be safe, especially since like if you're going for M, the grade requirement isn't even like the score requirement isn't even that severe. It's pretty easy to get that S9 if you're just playing relatively cleanly. And even if you aren't, as long as you're hitting doubles and triples and Tetrises every once in a while, you should get the S9 pretty easily. So like playing safe like this is definitely the way to go. Alright, yeah, probably not too much to say at the end of this. There might be a couple things. Like I know I panicked at one point. Yeah, I missed those 180 IRSs as well. 180 IRS is also something you can do at Tetrominoes, which gives you more options as well. It's not just something you need to do with Pentominoes. I guess my last point that I'm going to make is here. Starting with this cue placement. So again, this is the part where I'm stacking up and like we're in the we're in the 900s, later part of the game. It's 20G, and I'm stacking up when the stack is already high, and the stack is pretty unstable. It's no good. So let's see here. So it's like this. Oh my goodness. That's right, isn't it? I think that's right. It is. Good. T4G. I put the Q like that. So that's terrible for a number of reasons. First of all, obviously, like when you do this, where are you putting the O? You have to make a hole with it. It's just terrible on its own. And it's just keeping the stack more unstable. So I don't know, you could do this. It's like the same problem, but not as bad. Your stack is a little more stable. You do have like those two wells, but it's not as bad. You have a decent structure on the left side. It's something you can work with. But I really think, like I was saying, just being safe is probably good. You know, this G poses a bit of a problem, but you know, you could do that. It's not amazing either, but it's workable. Or you could do this, which might be the best, setting up for skims. Ooh, that is tempting. I have been wanting to analyze other people's gameplay, yeah.